A big focus in our class is on interpreting Venn diagrams. Every region in a Venn diagram is either inside or outside of each individual set's circle. So depending on the meaning of the set, it's important to remember that outside is the opposite of that meaning. So for example, if the set D, pictured below, is the set of people who have a dog, then the elements that show up outside of the circle for D are people who do not have a dog. The elements that show up inside the circle for D are the people who do have a dog. So you're either in or you're out when it comes to these categories. Let's describe the meaning of each of the regions in this Venn diagram. And we'll go through one at a time, and I'm going to label them with Roman numerals. You can just use numbers, just be careful to do something like a different color or something like that, because you want to make sure it doesn't get confused with the number of elements in each part of the Venn diagram. So if I label each of these regions, we have to talk about whether they're inside or outside of each of the following circles. So if the red circle represents people who have dogs, then I've got people in regions 1 and 2 have dogs. If the blue circle represents the people who have cats, then the people in regions 2 and 3 have cats. And those people sitting outside of the dog and cat circles, those 6 people, they don't have cats or dogs. They might have other pets, but they don't have cats or dogs. So let's talk about what each region means and then answer the questions. Region 1 is dogs, yes, but not cats, because they're inside the red circle, but they're outside the blue circle. Region 2 represents both dogs and cats. And region 3 represents cats because they're inside the blue cat circle, but not dogs. And like I said before, region 4 represents neither cats nor dogs. And just be careful that you don't say no pets or something else, because that doesn't mean quite the same thing. All right, so let's answer our questions. How many people have both pets? Both represents region 2, and there are 3 people in region 2. How many people have neither? That's region 4, so there are 6 people in region 4. How many people have dogs? Now this is an important thing. Notice it doesn't say only dogs. It doesn't say only dogs, it just says that they have dogs. So that means that everybody who has dogs counts, which is going to include the people who have dogs but not cats, which would be these people. But it's also going to include the people who have dogs and also have cats. So therefore, there are going to be 3 plus 4 or 7 people who have dogs. Now, how many people have a dog and not a cat? That's going to be this one. And you could also call that only the dog. In other words, that would be the 4 people. And if we want to find out how many people are in the office, then we can simply add up all the people, because we're going to assume that everybody in the office is represented here in the universal set. So we have 6 plus 4 plus 3 plus 5, which is equal to 18 people. Let's look at another example. This time, our example is going to show 3 circles. So we have 3 sets. So this is going to be very similar, but it will get more complicated as we get more circles. So first of all, how many people have all 3 pets? So we're looking for the region that's inside all of the circles. And that's going to be this region right here. If you look at this region in the middle right here, notice how it's inside the circle for people who have birds, sitting inside that red circle. It's also sitting inside the circle for people who have cats. And it's also sitting inside the circle for the people who have dogs. So therefore, that one person is really into pets, right? They have all 3 pets. And that's that one person in the middle that I've circled right there. The next question is, how many people don't have a bird or a cat or a dog? In other words, they've got none of the 3 animals. And that would be the 6 people out here because they're outside all of the circles. Now, when I get to the question, how many people have a dog, the mistake I tend to see is that people will give me the number 4 because they'll look at this and they'll say, well, there's 4 people who have dogs. But I want you to think carefully about the meaning of the circle for a set. The dog circle is this entire circle. And you can see that this includes the numbers 0, 4, 1, and 5. So they might have other pets, but all of those people do have dogs because they're all inside the dog circle. So we have 4 that only have dogs, but we also have, the 0 that have a dog and a bird, but no cat. I have 1 who had all 3. And then I have 5, and I'm going to include the plus 0 just so that we see it there. And then we have 5 that have a dog and they have a cat, but they don't have a bird. And so that leads to 10 people who have dogs. So I'm just adding up those numbers. Now, if we go back and we take a look at how many people have a dog and a cat, we can continue highlighting here and see that the cat category is this one. So that's going to include those 4 numbers. It's going to include the 0, the 1, the 5, and the 2. But notice that the 1 and the 5 are in both the dog and the cat category. So I've got that one person in the middle who has a dog, a cat, and a bird, and I have the 5 people down here who have a dog and a cat but don't have a bird. Both of them are sitting in the dog and cat categories. And finally, how many people have a dog and a cat but not a bird? That would be those 5 that are sitting in the dog and cat overlap, but they're not inside the bird circle. So this takes a little bit of practice, but it does come with practice. So this is a good thing to redo multiple times on Connect until you kind of get the hang of it.